I'm sure by now you got wind of the heroic Hollywood scoop that they heard that WB is refocusing their efforts on Superman in the movies, even going so far as to halt their Supergirl movie production because they want to get Superman right first, and that it's possible that they could be bringing back Henry Cavill in the role as the Kryptonian hero we all know and love. That would be great. But if Henry Cavill Superman did come back, that reintroduction with his next movie might not be as smooth as we'd like, right? Because his supporting cast, logistically, it's kind of messed up now, right? Lois Lane and Ma Kent could come back because the actresses Diane Lane and Amy Adams, they're still around if they're willing to come back. No problems there. But Jimmy Olsen was apparently killed off in BVS. Remember, he was like an undercover reporter or an undercover like agent for the CIA, right? And he was killed when he was on that mission with Lois in Africa. So they wouldn't be able to bring Jimmy Olsen with them, you know, in the new phase of Superman movies, Henry Cavill Superman movies. And Perry White, played by Laurence Fishburne, he might not be able to be brought back either because Laurence Fishburne left the DCEU to join the MCU, right? He joined Ant-Man and the Wasp as Bill Foster. I guess, you know, he could always come back to the DCEU, but I don't think he wants to. I think he left because he was like, he thought it was a sinking ship or he didn't like what they were doing with his character. I'm reading between the lines here. Laurence Fishburne never said that, but I think he wanted to bolt the DCEU and not come back. They could always recast Perry White, I guess, but, you know, since Jimmy Olsen is dead, it would be impossible to bring him back. Now, you don't necessarily need Jimmy Olsen and Perry White to do a new Superman movie or trilogy. In the comics, there have been many Superman stories where Perry White and Jimmy Olsen were not there, or not important parts of the stories. But they're such classic and well-known characters in Superman's supporting cast, Clark Kent's life, that it would be weird to have, you know, all these Superman movies without them ever showing up, or it even being possible for them to show up. Now, they could, of course, recast Laurence Fishburne, but, you know, Jimmy Olsen is apparently, you know, dead and never coming back. Now, you know, if there's a soft reboot, they could always say, oh, you know, we're rebooting and Jimmy Olsen's still here, played by another actor. Maybe they could bring the same actor back. But I think a lot of people might roll their eyes at that, be like, oh, that would be kind of sloppy. But I don't know. That would be their only option, I guess, unless they say, you know, that guy's not really Jimmy Olsen. He just was using that alias. But, you know, it does seem weird as someone who's read a lot of Superman comics and who knows how classic those characters are in his supporting cast for them to be unable to show up. Now, you know, like I said, you don't necessarily need them. Like, Superman movies could exist and make billions of dollars or 800 million or whatever without Perry White or Jimmy Olsen being present. It is possible, but I think it would be better if they were able to be there, if they could come back. Given that they're such important parts of Clark Kent's civilian life. But, you know, because of these supporting cast problems I mentioned, bringing Henry Cavill Superman back, you know, that won't be quite as easy and seamless of a process as we'd like it to be. But how do you feel about this? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel, because I appreciate your viewership, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.